SAUTI on Africa Headline. Reflection on Patrice Lumumba's Independence Day speech. On June 30, 1960, Patrice Émery Lumumba delivered a speech during the independence ceremony of the Democratic Republic of Congo that remains a defining moment in Africa's anti-colonial struggle. Before a global audience, including Belgium's King Baudouin, Lumumba broke away from conventional diplomatic rhetoric. Instead of celebrating independence as a gift, he declared it the result of decades of sacrifice and resistance by the Congolese people. The scars of colonialism. The Congo's colonial period left a legacy of brutality and exploitation. From 1885 to 1908, under King Leopold II, the country was effectively his private property. During this time, millions of Congolese were subjected to forced labor, violence, and systemic abuse. An estimated 10 million lives were lost, making it one of history's worst atrocities. After international condemnation, the Belgian government assumed control in 1908, but exploitation persisted. By 1960, as independence approached, the Congo remained underdeveloped. The country had a mineral-dependent economy and lacked an educated elite, with just 16 university graduates in a population exceeding 13 million. This glaring disparity underscored the immense challenges the newly independent nation would face. A controversial ceremony. During the independence ceremony, King Baudouin praised Leopold II, referring to him as a visionary and claiming Belgium had civilized the Congo. In his speech, the king remarked, "It was thanks to the tenacity of King Leopold II that the Congo entered the circle of civilization. Belgium now hands over a country ready for the future." Lumumba, however, refused to let this narrative stand unchallenged. He responded with a candid and unflinching speech, rejecting the notion that independence was a benevolent gesture. Instead, he emphasized the sacrifices made by the Congolese people. "We have endured forced labor, miserable wages, insults, and humiliation because we were black. This independence was not granted. It was earned through relentless struggle." Lumumba's words redefined the independence narrative, placing the Congolese people as the true authors of their freedom. A voice for Africa. Lumumba's speech was more than a statement for his nation, it was a declaration for Africa. His defiance of colonial narratives inspired anti-colonial movements across the continent. He vowed to build a nation free from exploitation and discrimination, proclaiming, "We will end all forms of discrimination and give every citizen the position their dignity and work merit." By asserting sovereignty and justice, Lumumba articulated a vision of an Africa that would no longer serve foreign interests, but instead prioritize its people. His address resonated far beyond Congo, motivating liberation movements in Angola, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and elsewhere. Consequences and tragedy. While Lumumba's speech was celebrated by anti-colonial leaders, it provoked hostility among Western powers. The Congo's vast resources, particularly in the mineral-rich region of Katanga, were too valuable for foreign interests to relinquish. Shortly after independence, Katanga declared itself a separate state under Moise Tshombe, with Belgian backing. In September 1960, Lumumba was ousted as prime minister amid escalating political turmoil. On January 17, 1961, he was arrested and assassinated in Katanga in a plot involving local leaders, Belgian operatives, and support from the United States. His death marked a chilling reminder of the lengths to which foreign powers would go to maintain control over Africa's resources. The speech's enduring impact. Lumumba's speech transcended its time, symbolizing the broader struggle for African sovereignty. He not only exposed the injustices of colonialism, but also outlined a future where Africans controlled their own resources and destiny. His vision, however, faced the persistent shadow of neo-colonialism, where external powers continued to dominate African economies. Today, many African nations still grapple with the structural challenges left by colonial rule: economic dependency, political instability, and external exploitation. Lumumba's message remains a rallying cry for justice and independence, reminding the world that true freedom extends beyond politics to include economic and social empowerment. The legacy of Patrice Lumumba. Lumumba's life was tragically cut short, but his legacy endures. His words echo the importance of sovereignty, dignity, and courage in the face of oppression. He stated, "History will one day have its say. It will not be the history taught in Brussels, Paris, or Washington, but the history of free peoples." As a symbol of resistance and hope, Patrice Lumumba continues to inspire. His speech remains a testament to the unyielding fight for justice and a beacon for those pursuing a truly liberated Africa. You just listened to SAUTI on Africa Headline, on reflection on Patrice Lumumba's Independence Day speech.